This is a 1994 Firestar 2. It's a two-seater, but it's really more of a ride-along, and you can't really put anybody heavy in here. And I've never flown anybody back here before. It seems like you can't really even fit anybody. It's a 10 gallons of gas, two 5-gallon gas containers. It's got a primary center stick with a real unique set of throttles and primer, along with, which is really nice, an electrical box for fuses, a real nice panel, and electrical panel. It's got strobes, nav lights, taxi lights, electrical pump, low oil pressure, and you've got all the appropriate gauges, RPM, miles an hour, your compass, altitude, and vertical speed indicator, as well as volts, and your temperatures for CHT, EGT, and CHT, which are real handy, and a Hobbs meter, which says 90 hours. Okay, this is a 503. It came with the airplane. I am a Rotax repairman, and I learned how to work on this motor, so I have done just routine maintenance on the motor. Routine meaning that every year I do an annual. I'm not a A&P, so I don't have an official annual on it, but I just do the full-blown everything for just a once-over. This is a 1996 Oshkosh winner. That was primarily because it is such a nice rig. I mean, it's got beautiful windscreen setup that can open on both sides. It's like a starship cockpit. It's got a real nice electrical panel down here and strobes with the wheeling strobes on the wingtips, a battery, and your electrical box here. I keep the battery tapped on for it. All the wiring and everything is nicely done and run properly. There's not a bunch of wires all over the place. This is a well-built, good designed aircraft. Looking from the tail up to the nose, kind of this way, you can see that it's a nice setup. How it's folded, it's beautiful. I'm still running the fuel feed, and when I learned from the Rotax guys that these things are really reliable. They work really good. A lot of guys would move it because they feel the reliability is poor, but if you keep everything greased and maintained, you don't break. And you also want to make sure, the problem is that these lines, they get hard and then they break, and that's where people run into problems. So I keep the lines, I replace the lines once a year and then reprime it. The best part about this is that when it's idling, it's at 70 to 1, and then when it's full throttle, it's at 50. So it ramps up exponentially. I keep everything sealed so that there's no air that could get into the cylinder, and that's from both sides, exhaust and from the intake. And the reason why the motors don't last very long, and Rotax wants you to replace them occasionally, is because you don't seal them, and the bearings can be exposed to the elements. So I keep them non-exposed. This is a dual spark ignition with the CHT. There's the oil tank there for the oil feed. And this is really handy to have, and I really like that a lot better. My plugs are always clean, and I'm not lugging it with a lot of oil on when I have to start my initial takeoff. It's not excessively oily, and the plugs stay and remain very clean. Down on both sides here, you can see that it sits nicely. This is a 24-foot trailer. It is a very nice trailer. I added some insulation for the ceiling and all the lighting and lighting strips. Some of the tools and stuff don't come, neither does the air conditioner. I also made a day bed so that you can sleep in here if you want when you're traveling. It just lifts up and attaches to this area here so that you can pull your airplane in and out. You can attach a R2-D2 air conditioner if you would like and run it really nice, and it keeps just a separate area cool. That's all I need. So I actually blanket and tarp around the bed area here to keep just the bed area cold and cool. These are larger size tires so that we can really do a good job on more terrain, rough terrain. It comes with all of these fans here in the electrical box so that it runs. I run the electrical on this, electricity constantly, so that these fans run and eliminate any kind of stale humidity that can potentially cause mold. So the airplane is always reduces the amount of mold just by the fact that there's constant ventilation in this. I ventilate in and out, so I actually have a fan that goes out and the fan that comes in from the trailer right here, and then I blow the intake throughout the area here, so it's constantly refreshing. I have an electrical box that I use for all of the for if I need added extra electricity, and that's also the switch for the light bars here. You can see, which is a nice feature. These are all solar, and that one there is solar, and this is electrical, and these are electrical, and they're all on motion sensors. What I like to have here is, this is my maintenance plan and my checklist that I follow every year. So right now I'm up on the 75-hour mark, and I just follow all of that. I just completed a 75-hour checklist. And I also run the regular checklist too, just a regular launching checklist. All your main torques, your pre-flight checklist, your daily inspections if you want, and an additional engine inspection. It comes with extra tires on both sides with tubes, extra tires if you need them. There's the spars right there, and an extra seat if you need it. It comes in additional. There's some extra stuff that just in a box of spare parts and stuff, and all the rest of the tools and everything, they don't go. They go with me.